thought Contemplation was just so well done. Every single element here came together to form a really cohesive piece. The music, costumes, the makeup, the scenery, it was just all perfectly curated. Some really interesting costumes, and I thought they worked so well with the music. And visually, there was a lot to admire here. I absolutely love those aerial shots and that building that she was dancing in, just the juxtaposition of those really clean lines with the natural environment. It was amazing. And it was just all edited so well. So just really fantastic. I really enjoyed this one.
The first thing I noticed when I started watching was the drone that they were using. They were able to use it in a way that both captured the beautiful landscape that they were filming on, but also gave the dancer something really interesting to play with. There were times where it felt like they were reaching out towards the camera as it was panning away across these fields in a way that you would never be able to do with a handheld. They were dressed in some really interesting costumes. There was a mask in particular that created a sort of optical illusion on their face, and it really drew me in. And it happened about halfway through the film, so it was a great way to keep the tension and keep the viewers' attention on them. I felt themes of suffocation and loneliness, and the way that they were able to use the choreography, the costume design, and the landscape to amplify that was really great. This is a lot of really cool components that together made a really interesting film.
This was just a very, very stunning and beautiful piece. The lead performer was just, astounding. She did such a wonderful job. She, her movements, her poses, all just looked so elegant and beautiful. And she had a very austere kind of energy to her, but it produced a very graceful, movement that flowed from her. It was, and the costuming was wonderful. And, there was the kind of disturbing mask that was kind of distorted her face, that kind of was jarring, and then brought us back to this, this forest scene where she's got a black hood on, and then, and then back to her in the field, and then she's on a pedestal. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that looks so beautiful that we're getting this idea of, there's different personas. We're going through different landscapes and different types of journeys that add up to one big journey is what we're kind of getting here in this film. And I really liked it. The cinematography was beautiful. There was some great, like drone footage and things, or if that's how they got it. But there was a lot of, wonderful footage that happened here. A lot of wonderful editing. The music was great. Like I said, the lead performer, the costuming, makeup was beautiful as well. Directing, editing, everything was wonderful here. So great job with this. You made a very beautiful piece, and I hope it gets out there and gets seen.
I was very impressed by the scope of what Contemplation was able to capture and also to convey. I think that the drone shots and the wide shots that were used had a lot to do with that visually. I was particularly intrigued by the distortion of the dancer's face through their wardrobe, but also through their movements and the way that those were cut together and the way that distorted their figure as well. I think that the film overall, for me, definitely explored visually the idea of re-examining oneself and looking inward and thinking about perhaps new ways of being or other ways to fit the different pieces of ourselves together.
I really liked Contemplation. What stuck out the most to me were like the masks that looked like it was like a piece of tulle put over their face, or like mesh, but it had like an imprint of the face. Like, it was so cool. It was so cool to look at. On top of that, I think you did a good job relaying the title of Contemplation back to having these dancers, models, these characters kind of like in the middle of nowhere, just moving, almost writhing around, kind of that feeling of like being stuck with yourself and trying to think by yourself. It was just really interesting to watch. I think you know, visually, it was very visually pleasing, very aesthetically pleasing, and was just a really enjoyable, quick 2 minute piece. So very well done.
From this one, I really like the color scheme that they, I think, used to showcase the organic movements. It gave me the impression of self discovery, and how they use these masks is blunt and of course also terrifying, with one of them being kind of blurred. It is a nice setting in the woods, and there are shots from above as well. I think are perfectly paired with the music and the title. I think it's just a very nice piece.
Yeah, that was pretty cool and enigmatic. I really like the drone shots. I like the different locations and how we switch between locations at a fairly regular pace. I enjoyed that. The strangeness of the costumes and the way that the character was integrated in the shots was very intriguing. I like the use of nature, the kind of the paganistic overtones of a lot of it. The way that yeah, there was the strong energy in that in throughout this video, and I thought it was well captured through the use of drone shots and traveling shots and the way the camera moved and the eeriness of the music. It all came together to produce a pretty fascinating film.